I am the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Okay?
You're the boss, Mr. Rosenstein.
That's correct.
Why did you tell Peter Strzok not to answer our questions yesterday?
But I didn't give Peter Strzok any instructions.
Horowitz said his bias is an appropriate explanation for his conduct. Do you agree?
I certainly agree with the findings of the Inspector General report, and I think those messages clearly do indicate bias.
We need a date when you found out that the wife of your deputy was working for people who are actively trying to undermine President Trump.
This was a fiery hearing. That's just a sample as Republican lawmakers clashed with the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein over just about everything from his department's role in the Trump campaign surveillance to alleged stonewalling of document requests by committee. Congressman Bob Goodlatte's chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He led the operation yesterday with me now back in his district in Virginia. And, sir, thank you for coming back here, and good morning to you. Got about a second delay in the satellite, so we'll take it easy.
Bill.
What did you learn through this back and forth?
Well, I got two things accomplished yesterday. First of all, a confirmation by the Deputy Attorney General of the United States that he agrees with the Inspector General's report that there were many, many missteps made by the FBI in the investigation into various actions by former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And he confirmed that he agreed that that was extreme bias reflected not just by Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, but by others who were identified in that report. And therefore, that's confirmation that this investigation that we've been conducting needs to move forward, because it now moves into what happened when Peter Strzok moved from the Clinton investigation into the so-called Trump-Russia collusion investigation. Secondly, we had the opportunity to address some of our concerns regarding the production of documents and the testimony of Peter Strzok in a private interview the day before. That interview was plagued by the FBI's counsel instructing him repeatedly not to answer questions that are very important to our investigation. So I got the opportunity to impress upon both the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein and Director Wray how important that is, and to point out a new development, and that is that in the production of documents, which has been improving greatly, and they have produced a tremendous number of documents, someone at the Department of Justice made the decision not to include communications within the Department of Justice, only within the FBI or between the FBI and the department. But if two people looking into the Clinton matter or other matters related to our investigation were communicating with each other in the Department of Justice, those weren't produced. And we got a commitment yesterday from John Lausch, the U.S. Attorney, to get on that and get on it right away.
So that's four things there. It sounds like a lot. With regard to the Strzok interview, when you say that the lawyer for the FBI repeatedly interrupted him and refused to answer a number of questions, well, why would Peter Strzok appear before your committee? Do you still expect him to do that? Or is this a case of Peter Strzok appearing, raising his right hand, and taking the Fifth Amendment?
Well, we don't know what he'll do when he testifies. When he was allowed to answer questions, he answered the questions. Some of his answers, particularly regarding the explanation of a number of his outrageous text messages, were completely unbelievable. But nonetheless, he will be back before the committee for a public hearing, and that will take place soon. We do not have a date yet, but we're getting close, and we'll announce it soon.
Okay. Democrats are making the case that all you're trying to do through this committee is undermine the system of justice. What do you say to Democrats, and what do you say to Americans who grew up trusting an FBI and trusting the CIA? Has that trust been broken, sir?
Well, we are all about making sure that the rule of law and our system of justice works very well. And unfortunately, as reflected in the Inspector General's report, that broke down in 2016 and then on into 2017 with very unbalanced, biased investigations, leaning over backwards to make sure that Hillary Clinton did not get indicted, and then leaning into and launching an investigation in the presidential campaign related to Donald Trump and his campaign, And we have a tremendous number of questions that the American people share, and we're going to get to the bottom of that. And in the process, we're going to restore the reputation of the FBI because Director Wray and General Rosenstein both have been very committed to doing this. There's been a cleaning house there. 6 top people at the FBI are now gone, from Director Comey and the deputy director, and Mr. Strzok, I think, is on his way out the door. That is a positive step. The director, Director Wray, has also indicated he agrees with most, if not all, of the recommendations made by the Inspector General on how to proceed in the future. They are implementing programs right now to make sure their agents know they cannot conduct themselves in 2020 or at any other time the way they did in 2016.
We heard that from Christopher Wray yesterday morning. Sir, I'm out of time, but I thank you for your time today. There's more to come on this, clearly, and we'll see if and when Peter Strzok testifies. Bob Goodlatte, thank you, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, live in his home district there in Virginia. Thanks again, Sam.